Hello, this is the Radio Geek from Radio Geek Blades, and today for you, I've got an Artisan cutlery knife. Now this one is not necessarily a traditional, and it's more like a modern, but it looks like a traditional. Let's just say that it's a modern with a little bit of traditional flavoring. But this is my first Artisan cutlery knife. I've heard good things about them being a good knife manufacturer, and typically they make more premium knives, although this knife is actually priced at more of a budget price range. I got this knife on Amazon for about a little over $60, and it had a 15% off coupon at the time I purchased it. And the knife is the Artisan Cutlery Holm, Holm pocket knife. It's a folder, and in the box you get a nice carrying pouch, a zipper pouch, and it comes with the cleaning cloth and the bag that the knife comes in. It's nice and padded inside, so it's a nice place to store your knife or something else if you choose. And this is what the knife looks like. I really am digging this rosewood inlays. They've got different kinds, G10 and some other ones, and then they have some newer ones that are more higher end, where they have I think it's S90VN steel, and those are more money, like $150 and more. But this one is priced at about $60, and they have some that are slightly higher, around $75, depending on what it is. But this is kind of, like I say, like a mixture of old and new. It's a modern flipper style knife. It's actually a button lock knife, and you can deploy it with the thumb studs, and it says button lock there. You push the button and you close it like that. You can deploy it with your thumb, with your finger on the other side, the reverse flick. Or what I like to do is, it's got this big long nail nick, or fuller as they call it, in there, and you can get your nail right in there, and you can deploy it that way. It's really kind of interesting the way they made the knife. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at the wood and these wooden inlays here, it's actually kind of got a bevel or curve to it. It's kind of higher in the middle, so it's kind of rounded like that, so it fits in your hand really nice, and it's got a really nice finish on that rosewood. And it's got the pocket clip on this side, and you can reverse it to the other side. There's holes for it there on that side if you want to carry it for a left-handed person. They've got a lot of neat attention to details on this knife. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up in the camera or not, but this inlay, the frame of the knife is a little bit wider than this wooden inlay, and so this is kind of in the middle, and it's got, I don't know, like a thousandth of an inch or so all the way around. That's part of the actual frame of the knife, and this wood sits in there, and it's really finished nicely. I've a lot of details here, like right where the thumb stud is. There's like this bevel cut out right here, so you can get your thumb in there. It's right made for your thumb to get right in there, or your finger to flip it out. The transitions between the wood, and we'll call this a bolster, I guess. It's a stone-washed steel, and that's really nice and smooth. It has modern hex or Torx type screws, rather, that holds the scales on. So you could take the knife apart if you wanted to. Of course, then you've got your screws in there for the pocket clip, and they're really flat and deep in there, so their pocket material won't interfere with it. It'll go slide right in there, so it's a pretty deep carry, because that pocket clip goes right up over here to the edge of the blade, or I mean the edge of the knife, and everything is really chamfered and smooth. There are no sharp edges on it anywhere. perfectly ground and smooth. No rough areas at all. The button on this is perfect. The action on it is really smooth. There's no catching or anything like that. It's really a well-made knife, and I really have been enjoying it. I've been carrying it this week. Now, you may say there's a lot going on up in here. How many buttons does this thing got? Well, it's only got one button. This is the one button here, but it has a lock on it too, which what you can do with that is if you have it deployed like so, that's the button to release it. But if you push this other button in, it locks the blade, and so you can push this button in if you want, and it won't close. It's locked. The blade is locked in the open position. You can't close it on yourself. I mean, I don't really think that's an issue, but I guess it's just an added extra thing that they designed in this knife with this extra pin that will lock the blade in place, and then you have to unlock it, and then the button will release the knife to have the blade close. You can also enable that same button like I just did, and now it can't deploy. You can't get the blade out. So I guess it's an extra safety feature. I don't know that if it was really totally necessary. I don't really see how you would accidentally actuate that button, but you know, they have it there nonetheless. So you just unlocked it, and then we can deploy it again, and it's got really smooth action. It really does, and it's just a really nice looking knife. I really like it a lot. It's kind of in between the traditional and modern. It's really a modern knife, but it's kind of got a traditional flair to it. You know, it's kind of got that look to it, I guess. So I think that's pretty cool. I kind of got started with modern knives and flippers, and then I discovered traditional knives, and one of the things that I was into was I have a couple of Finch knives, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Finch knives, but they are kind of the same in that they are modern knives that have a traditional look to them, and they are typically a flipper style knife. And I got a couple of those, and then I started looking at the traditional knives. But I saw this one, and I saw a few videos on it, and I thought, that's really a classic look with this rosewood and the flipper and the pocket clip, and it's got a little lanyard that, you know, you can take it off if you don't like it, kind of thing. But I just thought it was really like a classic look. It's kind of got a little extra touch of class, and I just can't get over the smoothness of everything on this knife. I mean, there's not a sharp edge anywhere on this knife other than the blade, obviously. But yeah, I really like it. I really like this blade. It's a Wharncliffe blade, and it's a it's like a stonewash finish on it. It's got a nice edge on it too. It's plenty sharp, and there's really no real markings on it. You've just got the Artisan logo down here, and on the other side it just has the what is it, AR RPM 9, which is, I guess, kind of like their own formula of blade steel that they use, at least on this particular knife. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I just thought I'd show it to you guys. It's kind of a modern knife with a little bit of traditional thrown in there, so I think it's a pretty attractive knife. I like the action on it's nice, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So you tell me what you think. What do you think about a modern knife that's kind of got a little bit of traditional flair to you guys? Would you guys get something like that, or you stick strictly to traditionals, or what? Let me know. Until next time, this is the Radio Geek from Radio Geek Blades.